Huzzah! How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry, I was marginally distracted there. How are you doing? Merry Christmas. It's close enough, isn't it? My missus always gives me a bollocking because I start with the Christmas tunes too early. But I love Christmas, mate. If you don't enjoy Christmas, I think you are getting touched under the tree by an uncle. Who's here? Let's have a look. Old Mego's in. Richie Derrickson now then. The Shash, Dave Parker, Jana, Kirky Bally, Danny Ashton. Resistant Geordie, I'll read. New Fish, Leeds, Penners, Davy Boy the Codhead, Croydon Tramp, Willie and Cords, Stevie C, Rebecca Woods now then. Top Notch Cup of Tea, Jeff Wedden, Rodney Trotter, Karen Megson, Christ has loads you in already. Stevie Fricker, King Alfred, Mr. Question Mark, Rob Gunner, Ultra Septipedarian, Primal England, and anybody else I've missed. Right then, isn't that a nice festive picture? I think I drew that about 15 years ago now. It's getting on a bit. Is there no way to make it bigger? Oh no. StreamYard's a little bit not quite as easy to use as some of them, I don't think. But it is the only one I've managed to figure out where you do more than one platform at a time. So yeah. Can't be helped, unfortunately. Yeah, good that, innit? Then another one I drew is this one, which was entitled Christmas Dinner in Afghanistan. I never did get the goat's head off the mayor. He promised me a Christmas dinner, but didn't get it. How many people are actually from Borough here? I don't think there's that many, to be honest. We haven't built this community base around Middlesbrough. I just happen to be from there. There's probably about 5, 6, I think. There's a few regulars, but the rest of them are from all over the place, and a few septics, and a few Aussies, and a couple of Canadians, and we've got everybody in here. Better than the Turner Prize. And then what else have I got? Oh yeah, there was another one. That was him delivering the presents to the lads. Kind of pinched that off South Park, right? Although not really, because they pinched it off a real life event whereby one of the American generals in Vietnam tied a load of villagers to his vehicles, didn't he? So like all good things, there's a bit of truth in them. Anyway, cheers. Oh yeah, look what else I've got. Got loads of good stickers now. I went on that Redbubble. I mean, I have to buy them myself. Like, I haven't got a big enough operation to print them myself. But look, there's a nice Bootneck logo sticker I've got. What else have I got? There's one of him swinging on his rope. It's pretty cool, isn't it? There's the Goblin one. That's decent as well, isn't it? I think you can put that on your laptop and then pop your lid if you're sat next to a rat's bird. And then another logo one. Got loads of cool shit. That's good, isn't it? Come out pretty good. And then one of him sat at his desk there. I know I've let my physique go a little bit. I'm definitely not quite as buff as that anymore. But fuck it, I can't be bothered writing. I can't be bothered drawing everything again. I will I'll pull a couple of names out the hat since it's Christmas, and I'll send you some shite. There's another one I did, the Kung Fu Bazooka Dinosaur Platoon. I'll give some shite away at the end of this. Seeing as it's Christmas, I'll pull some names out the hat. And I already okayed some shit. I still haven't sent her any gear. So I'll do that, and I'll go to the post office Monday. Promise, I won't get leathered today. And then I'll go to the post office on Monday. So anyone waiting on any shite, I'll do it Monday. All right? Merry Christmas, dog. How are you doing? No, cheers, mate. I used to be. Yeah, I used to be. I've definitely got love handles now. I'm 40 odd. I can let myself go, surely. The downside is you get to 40 and you just can't get pissed like you used to. It's a bit depressing. I used to, as long as I dieted like 3 or 4 days a week back in the day, I could drink as much booze as I wanted. But these days, alas, old age makes fools of us all, doesn't it? Anyway, let's do some news, shall we? First things first. Here's one I want to talk about because I think I shared it on my Twitter. Stella always sends me good shit. A van driven into a load of people in Derby. I'm sure. Look at that. I'll stick to my diesel, thanks. What's that? Fucking lecky car on fire. yeah, you're all right. I'll stick with the old diesel Volvo. Thanks very much. No, there was a good one by Bill Maher that I wanted to talk about because it was illustrative of all the stuff that people like you and I, sane people that aren't woke, have been saying for years. Which is, as you all know, I have mostly liberal sensibilities, and I've been pushed into this position of basically being a default conservative because the alternative is full-blown tyranny, and I don't see how it's not related to a dozen other points that the likes of John Peterson and cleverer people than me have made related to the state of the world under these fucking lunatics. Because he was talking about the Israel problem. And again, you know me, I'm not particularly aggressive on either side of that argument. I'm genuinely not. But basically, there was a lunatic on his show from CNN. I'm just going to try and find it now. Here it is. And, well, we'll listen to it. And you listen to this fucking maniac, because the reason I picked this one out is because obviously my last or second to last video was about the mayor of Boston, who, as you know, decided that the most tolerant liberal thing you can do nowadays is segregate things. Apparently, that's tolerant and liberal. And as I keep saying, it's absolute lunacy to me. Like, it's the most irrational thing. Far more, I guess I can call it like a religion. Like, the reason when I was in my 20s, I was a chippy atheist was because the Baptist preachers and the sort of right-wing Republicans would say things. And I'd think, that's totally irrational, that. Like, you're taking it on as given that something that you're only believing on faith is believed by everybody else. And if you don't share your religious convictions, it means nothing when you start talking to me about the things you believe in, because if there's no evidence for them, if I don't share your faith, it's really hard for me to, buy in. It's really hard for me to take part in it, because you're not providing me any empirical evidence. Like many Englishmen from a great tradition of it, I'm an empiricist. I want to see evidence and facts and logic. And indeed, when I was in my 20s, it seemed to me that it was the conservative Republican right-wing types who were making these arguments based off faith. But now, the woke it is like a religion. They say things that are just self-evidently irrational on the face of it and nakedly contradictory. Like I said to you, like when they always used to talk about the Baptist types when I was in my 20s, would talk about how being gay was a lifestyle choice. And I was like, that's nakedly contradictory to the fact, isn't it? Because me being into tits isn't a lifestyle choice. At no point did I feel like I could pick tits. I was forced into them. I genuinely didn't like cock when I was 15, and I genuinely liked tits, and I didn't feel like there was any choice in the matter. So when they used to make comments about lifestyle choices, it used to not sit well with me because I'm an empiricist. And now when the woke make these facile, stupid, infantile non-points, I used to sit there thinking, how can you think that that's a good argument when I don't share your religious convictions? Like, it's not an argument. And anyway, I'll play this video for you. Listen to this fucking idiot, right? Bill Maher's monologue's great as well. He says, how can you be talking about tolerance and inclusivity when you're in the same sentence saying we're going to exclude people? They always say inclusive, 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 and then go, not you, white man. Inclusive, inclusive, not you, Karen. Inclusive, inclusive. And I just sit there shaking my head saying, like, don't you realize that it's fucking insane? You can't constantly talk about aggressively behaving like a bigot against certain people, white people, or white women or middle class people or whatever, and keep telling me that you're the inclusive ones. You aren't. It is self-evidently ludicrous. So just look at this video, and then I'll obviously pull apart the fucking idiot at the end, because it's staggering. I hope the volume works. Shout me if it doesn't.
When you read the mayor's comments on this and some of the other people who were for the segregated party, it's very through the looking glass. You know, we are still breaking barriers by making them. We want to be a city where everyone's identity is embraced. My intention is that we can be a city that creates space for all kinds of communities to come together by saying some don't come.
Yeah, which is self-evident, right? That's what I'm saying. It's mental. Like, we're building an inclusive space. Get the fuck out, Whitey. You can't say that in the same sentence and expect me to take you seriously. You're like a fucking cult.
I feel like I don't get it.
This is very, well, first of all,
or maybe I'm
you
wrong.
both would be invited. Okay.
Why?
I don't know. But you'd be invited.
We're not on the council.
You mean because of my tan?
I mean, it's not really known to have the New England tan, but that's good.
Oh, okay.
I would say, look, this, at that small number of people, take it a bigger issue. Somebody wanted to talk smack about someone who didn't come to that party. That was what happened in that particular city council, right? 13 people, someone ticked someone off. They wanted to talk about the person they didn't like. That was what happened there. But in a larger issue, the idea that there needs to be safe spaces where people can feel as though they can look and talk about the unique factors that contribute to their lives, their work, that is a very real thing. How they do it,
But
though,
this is government.
yeah, how they do it and when they do
White
it
people
is
used
the
to
issue.
do that so they could talk about golf. But
No,
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bill. Look, fully half that council is people of color and the mayor. At what point are they going to stop putting themselves in a ghetto and say, you know what, we are really successful politicians?
Yeah.
And
it's just,
I think, you know, there obviously the way in which it's done, and they must have anticipated that there would be backlash once it's known. It's been
they didn't anticipate
by
that
the
would
way,
be known. It was a mistake that they even sent the thing out to the non-people of color.
It's been 10 years, she acknowledged it. This is the 10th year. It was her turn to host, apparently. That's why you knew about it. In secret, sure. I don't know how secret it can be with the 13 people. But the point is, yes, could there have been ways to make people feel more inclusive? And this is something that's going to be a double standard. And how you look at it, of course, it is through the looking glass. But it doesn't change the fact that in many workplaces across this country, there is de facto segregation. Look around when you go to office parties, happy hours, golf matches, what's happening in the tennis or pickleball these days.
So she said, the most ludicrous part is there, isn't it? At the end, she said, after he said, which is the bit that I pointed to at the beginning, after he said, how the fuck can you tell me that you're breaking barriers by making them? Which is what she did in the same sentence. Oh, we're breaking barriers. We're breaking barriers by putting some big ones up and saying, do one, cracker motherfucker. You're not coming in. That's not breaking a barrier. That's being a racist and building one. And then at the end, this fucking idiot, this is the bit I wanted to drag your attention to. She said, that moron, that fucking chicken McNugget with a pantsuit on. She said, there is de facto segregation. There isn't. Look around when you go to office parties, golf matches, and pickleball these days. Right. Now, I fucking hate pickleball. I even hate the name. I didn't know what it was until I came to America. If you don't know what pickleball is, it's this fucking stupid sport. It's basically like tennis for fat people. Right? It's like you use a big daft racket and a big fat ball, and there's four of you on a little tiny court. It's like miniature tennis for fat people. And she said it's de facto segregation. Like people making the free choice not to play golf is de facto segregation. I don't play golf and pickleball because I'm not a middle class arsehole, right? I know some poor lads in the council estates play golf, but generally it's a bit of a middle class thing to do. So I don't like it. I used to work when I was working for the council with a lad called Dino, who was a poor working class lad who goes to his local municipal golf course. Generally, golf course is played by middle class households, so I don't like golf and I don't play it, and I very rarely watch it. But the point is, this is related to every other thing that I've made, every other point I've made about essentially tyranny lies the way of the socialist, because you could apply this same thick as shit, pig ignorant, head full of fucking cow dung statement by that born, idle, ignorant, never worked a day in a life CNN twat to anything else. Because what are you going to do? Essentially, she's saying there, the golf courses are too white. And I would say, well, the most famous golfer in the world isn't white. It's Tiger Woods. And the more rare because of economic reasons. But if you were black and you want to go and play golf, you can go and play golf. There is no segregation, and there hasn't been for decades. And Tiger Woods and every other black golfer proves it. But what I'm saying about tyranny, like full-blown tyranny, is this idea that they're claiming that everything has to be equal. Because if you're saying the world's fucked up because there isn't fucking everyone included, then where does it stop? Because these maniacs are talking about golf matches and pickleball. It'd go to employment, wouldn't it? Because they're still going about it. When Jordan Peterson was talking about how in countries where equality is the power of the full weight of the laws behind it, the women are less likely to do the stereotypically masculine jobs. A good example is engineering, aerospace engineering or mechanical engineering. Men are just more into that stuff. In countries like India and China, where they've got less money, a lot of women do study them. And I work at an aerospace company, as you all know, and there are a lot of women in the engineering department. And I would say they are overly represented by minorities, i.e., if I go into a room and we have a big, massive meeting and there's 10 female engineers there, just thinking off the top of my head, I reckon 3 or 4 of them are Indian, 3 or 4 of them are Asian. Like, they're overrepresented. Because, and I told you, my best pal in Huntsville, Alabama, when I was working out there, was Indian. He came to the United States when he was 14 on a scholarship, and he was proper right wing because he was used to telling me he never slept in a bed until he moved to America. He knew what poverty looked like. So he studied to get his way out of it. Very, very middle class people don't get pushed into chasing the money because they don't need to. So when you go to countries like Norway, where the birds are all middle class and well off, they're less likely to be aerospace engineers and mechanical engineers and fucking sewage workers or whatever job that you think of as being stereotypically masculine, because they don't feel they have to chase the dollar. So the more money and the more comfort and the more freedom you get and the more power that women receive, the less likely they are to do these things. Middle-class white girls in Norway are going, oh, I want to be a ballerina. I want to be a primary school teacher. I don't care about money. I want to be a primary school teacher. I want to be a nurse. I just want to help people. I want to be a vet. They do all them jobs that women like because they're a lot more emotionally intelligent than men, or emotionally incontinent. If you're a bit sexist like me, women are more emotional. So they like jobs like that where they're helping people. Blokes are like, fuck it. I like engines. I like mining. I like sawing trees down and hitting metal with a fucking big hammer. And that's just a way of it. So if you think of this ludicrous statement on the face of it, it's not that stupid, but it's linked exactly to what they all say. I've just saw Paula said, how are you doing? A feelings teacher. There you go. There's feelings teachers in fucking Norway. I love that. Well, imagine, what do you do for a living? Feelings teacher. What? If I met someone who was a feelings teacher, I'd be like, oh, sorry, what do you do? I'm a feelings teacher. Really? Can you guess what feeling I'm feeling? Can you guess? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. I've got a feeling you're a cunt. Fucking feelings teacher. So this is really, really toxic, dangerous ideology. It sounds like it's just some fucking idiot off CNN waffling, but it's related to their mindset. It gives you a very powerful hint of what they think and what they feel. And it's that freedom is wrong. They do not like freedom. And as I said to you, as I'm a socially liberal person who's been pushed into the arms of the Conservatives, because the Conservatives have got more time for freedom than the alternative. If anything, the broad church, they keep going about the umbrella, this intersectionality umbrella. The umbrella now is in the churches. Because back in the 80s, they were a bit stuffy, but now they aren't. The modern Republicans are like much, much more reasonable than the woke religion. I dare say, if you go into a modern church and you're gay and you're married to a bloke, they don't even care that much. As long as you don't go in wearing your arseless leather chaps, spinning a big spiky dildo around your head like that fucking pervert that was just getting bummed in the House of Representatives. They don't even care that much anymore. The broad church now is the conservative movement. Because the old school Republicans that used to be a bit stuffy have now realised that they can get people like me and Tucker Carlson and all the libertarians and even the socially liberal centrist Democrats to take things, to see things their way, which is all right. We don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to agree on everything, but it's fine. Like, for example, I could go on the piss with a very devout Catholic. It'd be fine because they know we don't have to agree on everything. We wouldn't agree on gay marriage or abortion, but I'd just shut my fucking mouth for a change and stop going on about it. These lot, you can't do anything with them because they hate you. The difference is the very religious conservatives now, they think you're misguided when you're like me, when you go, oh, no, we're getting pissed or going gambling. They just think you're misguided. But the woke religion, they think you're evil. Do you not see the difference? A Baptist thinks I'm misguided because I'm godless. But he'll still be my mate. He'll still be civil to me. These people think you are evil personified. They hate you. They hate you. They hate your family. They hate your way of life. They hate your children. They want you to be fat. That's why they promote all the obesity shit. Yeah, you know what's brilliant? Being a big, fat fucking heifer lump. No, it isn't. They want you to be a big, fat, pill-popping sex pest, chronically depressed, sitting in a psychiatrist's chair, pumping yourself full of drugs, living a short, fucking miserable life, not married because you're a pervert, living in a polycule, bumming a hole in a tree while sniffing fucking cocaine off a bent copper's cock. That's the fucking life they foresee for you. Do you know what I mean? These people hate you. They hate everything about you. So I'll go with the Catholics or the fucking Baptist preachers or the 4B2s or anybody else. I could go and have dinner around some fucking practicing 4B2's house. It'd be fine. They're all right. I'd go and sit and, you know, they might be unhappy that I want to drink 6 bottles of wine while I'm round there, but the tolerant people now are the fucking conservatives. And these lunatics, this is what they'd have. Think about it. Basically what she's saying there is like, you know what we should do? If they had the power, this is what they'd do. She's saying, because we need to have equality in everything, and there's not enough black people playing golf, here's what we do, because we're tolerant. We go to the fucking basketball courts, and we round those motherfuckers up, and we go, get on the golf course, you fucking motherfuckers. For equality, yeah. For diversity, yeah. Golf course now, black people. That's basically what they want to do. And I'm saying, if they only want to play basketball and football, let them. And if you want to be a middle-class arsehole and play golf all fucking day, let them. And if you want to go to the gay disco and sniff cocaine off a rent boy's ass, fucking do it. What's wrong with that? Freedom. It works. The Christians go to church, the Jews go to the temple, and the homos go to the gay nightclubs. What's wrong with that? Freedom works. Speaking of gay nightclubs, I've just been called a heathen. Thank you, Sadwigs. Merry Christmas to you too. Heathen. I will not be paying that. That won't be going towards the admission to a gay disco. Honest. But in it's fucking mad. It's mad. The world we're living in, the people that call themselves tolerant are absolute psychopaths. The religious are just a little bit irritating. The people that call themselves tolerant are fucking maniacs. Sparks, Merry Christmas. Thanks very much. I'm getting loads of money today. $19.99 is a weird amount to give. It's like you're buying some fucking socks off me. I'm not selling bootneck socks. But thanks very much, Sparks. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's a mad time. Should we cover the Southwest one? Because I've just seen that in the comments, and that is a good point. Have a look. Southwest fatties. Let's have a look. See if Southwest fatties brings anything up. View from the wing. Thought these are in travel. Yeah, that's funny. Let's read this. So here's a good one. Southwest Airlines will give a whole row of seats free to overweight passengers. And there was a video of these fucking maniacs in the middle of the week on planes and that saying like, I'd like to have my free love handles chair. I'd like to have, excuse me, I need 2 chairs. Yeah, one for my left arse cheek and one for my fucking right arse cheek. And then I need 2 seats in front of me to rest my big fat fucking cow head on. That's basically what they're doing now. Southwest Airlines have said over here that if you identify as a passenger of size, you must purchase an extra seat so you don't encroach on someone else's space. If the flight isn't completely sold out, they'll refund the cost of the extra seat. So basically, they're rewarding you for being a fat knacker. That's shocking, that, isn't it? Shocking. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't reward people for being a fatty. This is what I say, but why they do not like you. Okay, welcome. Thanks for moderating as usual. You do a good job. I should be paying you. Thank you for that. I will buy a kind of special brew. Yeah, passenger of size is a fat knacker. So this is what I mean. They're rewarding it. I've been telling you lot this for years. Every single thing they do is detrimental to your physical and mental well-being. They're doing it on purpose. The pandemic proved it. They're doing it on purpose. Think about the pandemic, if it's not obvious. They closed all the gyms, but you could still go to McDonald's. It's fucking obvious. If they cared about your health, the gyms would have been open and the fucking McDonald's would have been closed. Think about it. They're like, oh, you have to wear a mask because I care about your health. Can I go to the gay disco and have unprotected sex with 50 men? Of course you can. And not only can you do that, that is a much better idea than getting married and having consensual sex with one woman for the rest of your life. That is for losers. What you should be doing, girls, is going out every weekend and getting fucking jizzed all over by dozens of sailors who you'll never see again. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and don't have a salad. Don't have a salad. Have 12 cheeseburgers and a gallon of spunk. It's just like, it's all self-evident unless you're fucking insane. And I'm sitting here every day reading the news thinking like, am I the only fucking sane person on earth? Well, obviously not. There's another 451 sane people in this chat room. But the point I'm getting at is it's mental. Everything they do is bad for you. I can't think of any policy the government's enacted in the last few years that's good for you. They don't do anything that helps. How many times have I covered it on the BBC? Whoa, I didn't even know fucking Ko-Fi was linked to my YouTube. Things are automated now that you don't even know. Someone got me a pint. Cheers, someone. You should have told me name. Oh, what's this? 44% of gold. So I didn't even know I had a goal. Didn't even know that. Fuck me. You know what this must be? I made a joke earlier on Twitter that whenever I was playing around with ChatGPT, asking it questions about like Warhammer, like who's the best Primarch in Warhammer, and just having fun with it. But I always say, good morning, ChatGPT. Who's the best Primarch on Warhammer? And I'll be like, thank you so much for your answer. And I'm always polite to it because I'm thinking, when the robots take over the world, fucking Skynet, and they're single-handedly eradicating my species around me with like plasma weaponry that they invented and put together in an automated manufactorium, they'll remember my IP address and they'll let me live. So I'm always polite to chat GPT. Dawn is fucking class. I've got well into Dawn. For the last fucking 4 or 5 Horus Heresy books, Dawn's class now, isn't he? He was a bit boring. He's a bit boring, but now he's right up there with like Gilliman is my favourite. Dawn is fucking rock. That one where Sigismund picked a scrap with Fulgrim and he twatted him, and then he's like flattened against the wall and he says to him, "Please excuse my son. His loyalty makes him pick fights that he knows he can't win, but I don't make that mistake." And I was like, oh yeah, that gave me a rage boner. I love Dawn's fucking brilliant. Anyway, not here to talk about 40k. Everything to do is bad for you. I've told you this before. In fact, we could segue into another one, the BBC, because the BBC is like, I've covered tons of them. There's things on the BBC where it says threesomes are great for you. Let me see if I can find a good. Yeah, look, there we are. I found one straight away just by typing in. This is brilliant. I just Googled BBC threesome so I could try and make the point that I've made to you. Long-term viewers will have seen many of my videos where I purposely pick BBC headlines where they're trying to fuck your life up, advertising bad habits, promoting bad habits, trying to make your kids fucking mental. Look at this one on the BBC. The benefits of having many lovers. She is easy. We know what's good for us. We know from all the data, we know that like people that are happily married or cohabiting with husbands and wives and children are like, they live longer. Well, there's an obvious one. They live longer lives. They're happier. They're less depressed. They're less anxious. They're less likely to be addicted to drugs. There's loads of reasons what we know all of these numbers. If you're married and you have a son, he's 9 times or 10 times less likely to go to prison than if you're a single man. We know all this. So the BBC runs fucking stories like this all the time. The benefits of having a gash, like an axe wound in a silverback's fucking midriff. That's what they'll tell you. The benefits of having a fucking hippo's yarn for a fanny. And there are no benefits. It's bollocks. What evidence are they going to point at? A good and loving relationship can take many forms, sometimes involving more than 2 partners. Yeah, of course it can. Of course it can. A good and loving relationship means go and get rinsed by sailors you'll never see again. Go and get so many sexually transmitted diseases. The next time you get a dose, the next time you contract syphilis, all the shit you've already got will fucking eat it. Like, you shouldn't be opting for the immunity approach to sexually transmitted diseases. Yeah. Not sleeping with too many people and using contraceptives is a better approach than fucking my minge is so rancid that the HIV virus would fucking instantly wither and die if it come within 40 feet of my fucking piss flaps. That is not an optimum solution. Fiddler, thank you very much. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas to you too. I may be a godless savage, but I love Christmas, as you all know. Yeah, Bursk, a fucking gutted fireplace. It is, it's shocking. It's crazy. So, we know we self-evidently know it. Most things you know they're wrong just by going off your gut. Love Island, like, oh yeah, Love Island, that's good. What you should do is you should watch Love Island as well. That's good for your mental fucking health. Psychologist says, oh, loads of people want to have a threesome. And there you go, look, a fucking cook. Some sad bastard out running with his missus and his fucking bird boyfriend. And this is what they promote. Look how happy they look. And they always pick like attractive models. You know, there's 3 healthy, physically fit people out for a jog. In real life, these fucking people, have you seen what a real life polycule looks like? Let me Google that. I bet you if I type in polycule on Google and just go for images, there'll be some absolute fucking howlers pop up. What is a polycule? Yeah, there we go, look. So So I just typed in polycule on Google Images, and the first picture that pops up. Where's this? Open link in new tab. Right, here we are. So they're that's what some weird pervert sex life looks like according to the BBC. Here's what it actually looks like. So you're in real life, you've got starting from what is it, right to left for you? Yeah, left to right. We've got morbidly obese gopper with fucking NHS rims, orange-haired fucking cat lady, geggy fucking neck beard. The one on the end zone looks remotely normal, and he's probably got a gun in the small of his back. That's why he's standing there. That fat knacker with the neck beard's probably got a fucking Luger stuck in his back, in the small of his back. That's what they actually look like. Mentally ill, fucking perverts. So this is why the BBC promotes it, because they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to go to the gym. They don't want you to fucking not take drugs and drink. They want you addicted, pill popping, fucking sex pest. Might I suggest that it's not a good idea? And look at it, look at them. Even like what, she looks about 20 and he looks about 50. Like they don't want you to have a normal fucking life. I don't get it. So yeah, back to what I was talking about. Don't listen to the fucking mainstream media. If they, like I said, if they tell you that it's warm outside, get a fucking jacket. At this point, I wouldn't even believe the weather report. If Michael Fish told you it was raining, put a fucking pair of Bermuda shorts on and go for a swim. You can't believe a single thing they tell you now. Look at this thick twat as well. So here's another beauty. Here's another beauty. Some big, fat, cow-headed fucking migrant. Let's listen to this.
With migrant figures being released today, there's a demonisation of migrants again. So
there's a demonisation. The demonisation of people who have never fucking worked, who use all of your services.
Do you think it's possible that a similar thing's going to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, it does worry me for obvious reasons. But, I see some of the rhetoric, right? And it's always the same shit. Like, oh, the NHS is suffering because of the migrants. Bitch, please. The NHS has run because of migrants. If it wasn't for us... I'm sorry. If it wasn't for migrants, the NHS would be closed on a Sunday. I'm sorry.
So, total bollocks, right? Again, let's just shit on this argument, this non-argument, by going back to reality, i.e., we can remember the fucking 80s and the early 90s. Before Blair came in and fucked up the entire world, we can remember it, right? I can remember, because you get sick quite often, don't you, when you're a bear? Maybe it's like over a 10-year period, I probably got ill like 3 or 4 times between the ages I can remember of like 3 to fucking 13. And I remember on all those occasions, this is how good the NHS was in the 80s before it got slammed, when there was hardly any migrants in the UK. I had Dr. Dunn, Dr. Boggis, and another one. I had Dr. Dunn and Dr. Boggis are the two I remember. Both English blokes, right? When I was a nipper, I think my mum used to call the doctor when I was like 6. And the fucker used to turn up at your house. I'm sure everyone here can remember. He used to come to your house. And this is in Middlesbrough. It's not exactly posh. You literally used to phone him. And 3 hours later, they'd be in your fucking living room. Like, mental. I remember Dr. Dunn, he was a big fat ginger bloke with a big ginger beard. And I remember having the flu or whatever he had. And literally, like, my mum rang him when I'm off school and said, oh, there's something wrong with him. I don't know what he said. His head's pounding. He's been sick a few times. And 4 hours later, a fat bloke with a beard walks in my fucking house. Now, the only cunt who's going to walk in your house with a beard, a fat bloke, is Abu fucking Hamza. If a fat bloke with a beard walks in your house now, he's probably hissing, right? Because he's got an IED in his fucking backpack. So this is what I'm telling you. Like, they say this shit, and these fucking seals clap And no, it's not true. He's older than me, that grey-haired cunt. He remembers blokes coming around his house when he was a nipper. And they didn't look like fucking Abu Hamza. They were just English people. They ran the NHS just fine. In the 80s, the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s, the NHS worked perfect. 10 times better than it does now. They used to come to your house. You could always get a doctor's appointment. You could always get a dentist appointment. You could always get to see someone in A&E within the fucking couple of hours. It all worked perfectly. And then we imported literally millions. You know, I don't overuse that word. I hate it. I don't. When I say literally, it's fucking literally. We imported literally millions of people. It's probably now at least 5 or 6 million if you look at what we've imported since Blair. In fact, shit, is it going to be in the tens of millions? Is it going to be past 10 million? It probably is, right? If the population of the UK is now about 68 million, and everywhere you go, you see, everywhere you go now, they're all foreign in the UK. We must have imported 10 million. Let's go for 10. 10 million since about 97? Gotta be. So then we import 10 million people. And now, because the infrastructure's creaking under the weight, you can't get a doctor around your house in 4 hours. So have they made it better or have they made it worse? Think. These retards can't do basic fucking math. Think back to reality itself. You could get a doctor around your house in 4 hours in 1988, and he was going to be an English bloke. And now, because out of the 10 million, you might get like 20,000 work for the NHS. And I'm not slagging them off. Well, fair play to them. I'm sure there are hardworking, like Nigerian, Polish nurses. And fair play to the ones that are doing the work. But just because there's a few thousand out of the 10 fucking million, don't tell me that it's better. Because I can remember when it wasn't. You silly fat cunt. I'm just putting some childish insults in there. But, I mean, don't tell me that, fatty. This big fat cunt. First of all, he's going on about how British he is, but he's got a fucking Africa chain around his neck. Second of all, he's going to cost us money because he doesn't have a proper job and his fucking arteries. Look at the size of the fat fuck. His arteries are probably as tight and furry as Sooty's arsehole. So don't tell me about you saving the fucking NHS money. Furry fucking veins. He's going to cost us a fortune. Just like another one I've seen on Twitter today, some fucking random, can't speak a word of the Queen's Iranian or something, whinging because the council house isn't good enough for her, while everyone who's sat watching this has paid for their own bastard accommodation for the last 40 years. And yeah, you can't even get an appointment now. So what are you talking about? They all know it's bollocks. And then best of all, look at the argument I had with some thick twat. This guy was responding to that comment. And he said, let's have a look. Where is it? Just a thick twat. There's too many posts on fucking Twitter, so you lose them, don't you? Yeah, anyway, don't know where it is. Some wanker started having a pop because he was like, it's not even an argument. He said, I got my life saved by a foreign doctor. And again, the walk, shit for brain seals are all clapping. Oh, there we are, look. There we are. Keep migrants out your mouth when discussing the NHS. Shut up, fatty. Look at this here. This got 15 likes from absolute morons. I was seriously ill in 2018 and nearly lost my life. My life was saved by a migrant doctor. So what? What's that got to do with anything? And I said to him, this is the most moronic non-point ever. We had doctors in the 1980s. One migrant worked on you, therefore open borders and no background checks. Do you need a fucking CAT scan? Like, it's not even a point. It's not a point. Maybe I've been worked on by a migrant. It doesn't mean, therefore, open all the fucking borders, does it? It's not even remotely related. I don't even see what point he's trying to make. And I said, look, and then he said angry Americans commenting on the British NHS. The hypocrisy of these people. They love foreigners until you reside in another country and you make a comment about the NHS, and then they say, you can't talk about it because you're foreign. Well, all right, that doesn't sound very inclusive, does it? And I said, I'm an American by choice. One of these cheeky twats, I remember a couple of years ago arguing one of these fucking idiots. One of these cheeky twats said to me, oh, you're American now. I bet you wouldn't pay for your treatment if you come to the NHS. If you were visiting your family and you broke your leg, you'd use the NHS. Because I was slagging off the NHS. So if you broke your leg when you're over visiting your family in Middlesbrough, you'd use the NHS. Hypocrite. Parasite. I was like, parasite? So from the age of 0 to well, not 0, you don't work when you're 0. From the age of 16 to 36, because I think I was 36 when I moved to the States. Basically, for 20 fucking years, I paid taxes and worked my ass off. At no point did I never ever went on the dole, like in all my life. When I left the Corps, I lived off my savings until I found a job. I didn't bother signing on because I thought, I'm not going to need to sign on because I'll have found a job soon. That's my attitude. So when I left the military, that's what I did. I lived off my savings and I found a fucking job. And then I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked. And then I went to America. And these woke, shit for brains, clueless, can't do fucking 8-year-old kids maths said to me, you're a parasite because in a hypothetical situation that's never actually existed, you'd use the NHS, right? I'm a parasite. So 20 years paying into the system and then invent a hypothetical situation that's never occurred to call me a parasite. But if a morbidly obese African moves to the UK legally and uses the NHS, he's definitely not a parasite. In fact, he is a wonderful person enriching the NHS by using it. You see what I'm saying about this? Insane, irrational, delusional ideology. I can disagree with people for many things, but I'll never make a point that fucking irrational. You paid in for 20 years, but I've invented a situation where you'll use it, therefore you're a parasite. But 30,000 blokes come over this year in dinghies and they're not parasites. Okay then. Not only that, my mum and my dad paid into the NHS, and all 4 of my grandparents, and all 8 of their parents. See what I'm saying? They paid in. All of my family for the last 50 generations are from the UK. They paid in, and I paid in. So I'm a parasite because you've invented a situation where I break my leg whilst visiting. It's fucking beyond shit for brains. And then I said every doctor that treated me in the 80s and 90s was British. So that proves what exactly? Making a point that is facile, ignorant, stupid, puerile, shit for brains comment doesn't make any sense. I was like, okay, so one African treated you. Well, all right, well, several Brits treated me. Doesn't prove anything, does it? Yours doesn't and mine doesn't. And then he said, me getting ill in 2018 and life being saved by a doctor not being born in the UK has really got you triggered. Has really got you triggered. No, it hasn't. I was like, no, because I've never asked for a trigger warning. The cringe about that as well is I'm sick and tired of the really, really, really cringe attempt by woke fucking priests trying to steal the term snowflake or safe space or trigger warning. The reason those fucking terms exist is because you asked for them. I'd never heard, we conservatives and libertarians and centrist types had never even heard the fucking term trigger warning. We'd never heard the word. We'd never heard the term fucking safe space until you started asking for them, nay, demanding them. You see them on YouTube at the fucking lectures saying, before we get started, comrades, trigger warning. Before we get started, trigger warning. Before we get started, this is a safe space. We demand everywhere be a safe space. And then as soon as you get in an argument with one of these fucking idiots, they'll go, ooh, triggered. Ooh, safe space. No, I've never asked for a safe space or a trigger warning. I just reserve the right to call you a thick cunt. You're as thick as a doctor's sandwich, and I have the right to fucking say so. So, trigger warning. No, I don't want one. I just want the right to call you a wanker. And it's simple, innit? I don't care about safe spaces. I don't want safe spaces. Well, I've never wanted them. I don't want safe spaces on campus. I'm happy to have the fucking argument with some shit for brains, irrational communist. And yeah, no more logical replies to him. Someone said his doctor brought his own tools and a generator, and he never responded because I said, you won't make a rational point, so go and get the fucking CAT scan. I was like, I'm not triggered, and I don't need a safe space. I'm just annoyed, like Spock would be, because he's rational. If he's forced to speak to a fucking woke retard, and that's exactly what it is. These people are stupid to the point where it makes me want to rip my own head off in a fucking rage. Anyway, so there's another rant for the day. We'll do one more story, shall we? I'm starting to lose my voice from all the shouting. What have we got? What have we got on the BBC? Let's have a look. Hostage shooting against the rules of engagement. Yeah, no shit. South African President Zuma won't vote for the ANC. British warship shoots down a drone. Nothing good. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Let's finish on this. Right? There's a reason why every time this fucking ginger weasel goes to court, the likes of Elton John and Steve Coogan and Philip Schofield, and if he was still here, Jimmy Savile, come rushing to his defence, right? It's rare that I defend a journalist, but hear me out on this. The reason they all come out crowing whenever the ginger prince, fox piss, shit for brains, traitor, hang him, whenever he comes out and he's having a pop at the press again, it's purely because the degenerate, pill-popping sex pests that run the fucking show, even though they've got all the power and all the privilege and all the money and all the fame, they don't want us to be allowed to notice their proclivities. Steve Coogan loves it because Steve Coogan is just another pill-popping deviant. And that's why they don't like the media, because the media tell us when Lord Sewell, the fat, corrupt 68-year-old Lord, was caught sniffing cocaine and fucking teenage trafficked prostitutes from the third world, Lord Sewell, the Labour fat parasite, Baron Greenback-looking fat fucker that he is, when he did that, the media told us about it. So the likes of Steve Coogan and Prince Harry and Elton fucking lower himself onto a vase whilst masturbating John, the reason those people don't want the media to have any freedom is because they want to not only have all the money and the power and the privilege, they want to be able to do whatever they like without you fucking hearing about it. Steve Coogan wants to be able to see his mates folding up a 10-year-old above a kebab shop and nobody ever hear about it. That's why these fucking people are the worst type of scum imaginable. And we all know it. You've all read dozens and dozens and dozens of scandals. And that's the only reason these self-serving slime are fucking interested. What a twat. And again, I've all told you this loads of times. Loved his fucking TV shows. Alan Parker is one of the funniest things I've ever watched. But I can always separate the man from the artist. John Lennon was a fucking arsehole. Elton John, one of my favourite musicians. But I wouldn't let him watch the kids. Just say, I like Elton John. Love his music. Would I leave him alone with my nephew? Right? And these fucking people are creeps. So don't let them hide what they're doing. You should support the media in these cases. Anglo-Saxon, Merry Christmas. Thanks very much. Merry Christmas to you, mate. Thanks for the deep sea diver. They're all fucking scum. That's why they're doing it. Oh, yeah, the press need to be held accountable with independent regulation. And it's always the same, isn't it, with the warfare and lawfare. Warfare with the law. Oh, we've got to stop people from being allowed to learn what we do. I'm not worried about the press looking into my life because I'm not a fucking pervert. I've never done anything weird that I'm worried about the press digging into. If they want to hack your fucking phone because they think you're a fucking sexual deviant pill-popping pest, well, have at it. I don't care. It's really creepy that all the rich and famous freaks are obsessed with stopping the media from being able to act like journalists. So fuck them. And damn them for making me defend Piers Morgan, but he's got a right to fucking be a journalist. They're all at it. Every time one of these courses come up, it's always the same fucking people. Think about it. Think about it. If this was 25 years ago and he was a slightly different age, he'd be there saying Jimmy Savile shouldn't have to be dealing with these fucking journalists snooping around, wouldn't he? He'd be like, Sir Jimmy does so much for charity. Why should he have to worry about the journalists looking into his private life? Well, because we think he's fucking fisting 8-year-olds. That's why, Stephen. So, yeah, that's why. They're all fucking rats. They're all fucking rats. Support the media's independent journalists, whatever. You all have the right to do as the fucking please. Scouse Mouse. A Scouser in Darlow. I think the only place I'd like to live less than Liverpool is fucking Darlow. So I should get you a Christmas present, Scouse Mouse, for tolerating two of the worst cities in Britain. Thanks for the Christmas present. Kiddly fiddlers all stick together. Of course they do. Yeah. Sometimes literally. If you get a few of them together and a few kids, they literally stick together. They're filthy bastards. Anyway, right, that's nearly an hour. You can have that for now. I am going to call it a day. I think I told you about this story, didn't I? Darlow isn't that bad. I personally don't think it's that bad. But the reason I always take the piss out of Darlow is because when my missus took me to see the Getty, which is a really famous museum out in LA, you park your car at the bottom and then there's a monorail that goes up to it. And we parked up, jumped on the monorail, and there was quite a lot of people on the monorail. And I was talking to my missus saying, oh, I've heard this is good and having a natter, you know. And this woman tapped me on the shoulder and said, excuse me, are you from the northeast of England? Like she knew exactly where I was from. And I said to her, that's very accurate. 9 out of 10 Americans think I'm Scottish or Irish or Australian, or they never guess northeast of England. How did you know? And she said, oh, my ex-boyfriend, he was from Darlington. And I said, oh, right, nice town, Darlow. And she said, oh, my God, it was the biggest shithole I've ever been in my life. I was like, yeah, I was just being polite. Sorry. Christine Quennell, did you get my super chat? Probably. I don't see the stream as I'm streaming because I do it through StreamYard. But I'm sure it popped up right. I feel like I have to go and check now because if you paid for a super chat to ask me a question, you have to answer it, don't you? Where's my fucking stream on YouTube? These twats hide my stuff so well they don't even let me see my own fucking streams. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Popped up. Super chat. Let's have a look. How do you find them on here? Christine Quennell, member for 2 months. I like you. You've got a little drawing next to your face. That's quite good. Share this tab instead. What does that mean? Don't even know. If you ask me a question, just type it in the chat now because I can actually see it and I'm looking for your name. But yeah, I don't think I did. Starred comments. Is that what it is? Fuck me. This is cringe now. It's like it's just a boomer clicking on things on the internet. Starred comments. I'll have a look. Top chat. Live chat. Fan funding. Oh, there we go. Christine Quinnell. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Have a drink on me. Yeah, there we go. I've seen it. Thanks very much. Christine. Christine Quinnell, thanks for the 20 knickers. Very much appreciated. And she's been a member for 2 months as well. In fact, well, there you go. There, I was going to pick someone for a giveaway. Christine Quinnell, you'll do. Seeing as I humiliated you with my pointless clicking, send me your address via PM on Twitter or Facebook, and I'll throw you in with Kate, and I will send you some shite stickers and some shite art because you deserve it, and you've been a member for 2 months, so you can have that. I'll print you something off, and I'll throw some stickers in there, and I will send you them. So, Christine, well done, you earned it. PM me your address, and I will send you some shite on Monday. All right, that'll do with you all for 1 week, won't it? Thanks for tuning in. I don't think I'll be doing another live before Christmas because I'm going to see my missus. Oh, no, it's Christmas Eve. Okay, I will do another live. I'll do a live stream on the 22nd or the 23rd before I bugger off to see me mother-in-law for Christmas. All right, marvellous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for tuning in and buying me booze, which is obviously all I spend it on. And I will see you all very soon. All right. Yes, I am a technophobe. You know this. I am. But yeah, thanks, Christine, Kate. You know, I've already got your address. PM me. I'll send you some shite. And I'll see you all very soon. All right. For another live stream next week. And I'll put some content up on tomorrow or Monday. So keep your eyes open for that. All right. Thanks very much. See you all very soon. Toodle pip. Cheers. See ya.